Rain pounded against the windshield in furious staccato, each drop a drummer on metal, turning the city lights into smeared neon ribbons. Daniel Mercer, a former police officer who had swapped badge and pistol for spreadsheets at Mercer Langley Capital, felt a cold certainty sliding up his spine. He was being followed. His knuckles whitened around the steering wheel as he stole a glance in the rearview mirror. A dark sedan, its license plate missing like a missing tooth, had clung to his tail for 10 relentless minutes. What had started as routine diligence in unravelling the company's financial discrepancies, millions siphoned into offshore accounts under his business partner Victoria Langley's watch, had blossomed into a life-threatening nightmare. Then, without warning, a violent jolt jolted through the SUV, wheels screaming like banshees on the slick road. Panic clawed at Daniel's chest as the vehicle spun, head colliding with metal, glass spraying like icy needles. Darkness swallowed him, but not before he caught the silhouette of a figure stepping from the sedan, face hidden beneath a hat brim, and then nothing. What did that shape mean for Daniel's fate? 3 hours later, at 3 a.m. St. Vincent Hospital's sterile halls echoed with the soft click of paws. Rex, Daniel's former 9 partner, a towering German shepherd bred for loyalty, detection and protection, entered flanked by 2 wary police officers. He paused at the ICU door and stared through the glass at Daniel, a human husk hooked to beeping machine. His ears twitched, muscles coiled like springs. Somewhere down the corridor, Victoria Langley appeared, her hair tied so neatly it looked sculpted, her tailored blazer untouched by time or trauma. She fixed Daniel with an unreadable stare before turning to the attending physician. Will he wake up? She asked, her voice polite but clipped. The doctor's hesitation was a whisper. We're not sure. With trauma like this, it could be weeks, months, or never. Rex didn't need words. Danger hung in the air, and he was ready. Could any force break the bond between this dog and his handler? 3 years dripped by in quiet vigilance. Every dawn at St. Vincent, Rex lay like a sentinel at Daniel's bedside, eyes sharp for any stir, doctor adjusting monitors, nurse switching V drips, strangers' hurried footsteps. To the staff, he was more than a pet. He was rescue and comfort, a reminder that hope lived on 4 paws. No one admired him more than Olivia Cartora, a nurse whose gentle touch normally soothed countless coma patients, yet who had never seen devotion like Rex's. One afternoon, while checking Daniel's pulse, she crouched and rubbed behind his ear. "Oh, you're not going anywhere, are you, Rex?" she whispered. Rex tilted his head but never looked away from Daniel's still form. Why was Victoria so determined to pull him away? Her heel clicks cut through the calm. Victoria marched in, gaze sweeping the room until it crashed on Rex. "This dog is still here," she snapped, tone as cold as steel. "It's been 3 years. Daniel hasn't improved. We need realism." Olivia rose to meet her eyes. "Rex has never caused an issue. He has every right to stay." Victoria produced a folder from her designer bag. No ordinary papers, but evidence of financial strain. His medical bills are skyrocketing. The company can't afford this. At the folder's snap, Rex's growl rumbled low, not his gentle bark, triggering a shiver down Olivia's spine. This was no playful guard. It was a warning. Victoria's lips curved in a humorless smile. "The board meets soon. Then Rex will have no home here." As she left, Rex's gaze followed her, tense and unmoving. What secret was Victoria wild to hide? Half an hour later, Rex nudged Olivia down a deserted wing. His urgency was impossible to ignore. She hesitated at the door to an old office, dust motes dancing in the faint light, but Rex poured insistently. The nameplate read Daniel Mercer, medical financial consultant. Olivia's breath caught. Rex scratched at a wooden cabinet door until she produced a scalpel from her pocket, working the lock until it whispered open. Inside, a thick folder of bank statements, a matte black USB drive, and Daniel's own notebook lay buried. Olivia's hands trembled as she sorted through marked transactions, millions rerouted offshore, dates matching Victoria Langley's tenure. Then came the clincher, a hastily scrawled note in Daniel's handwriting. "Victoria is hiding something. If anything happens to me, find evidence in the office safe." Olivia's heart pounded. Daniel had known his partner's betrayal and left a trail. She fit documents into her bag, eyes flicking to Rex, who sat like a statue, ears high. "This is it." she murmured. But how could they expose the truth before it was too late? Back in the corridor, Olivia paused as voices drifted from Daniel's room. Victoria and Dr. Harris, the head physician, stood deep in discussion. "He's not improving," Victoria said, smooth but ruthless. "To keep him on life support only prolongs the cost." Dr. Harris glanced down. "We've seen slight upticks in brain activity." Hope flickered inside Olivia. Victoria's expression turned icier. "Hope won't pay the bills. I expect action." Without a word, Victoria swept past her, leaving Olivia's resolve as cold and determined as steel. Could a fledgling sign of improvement stand against Victoria's machinations? That night, under dim desk light in her apartment, Olivia replayed the footage she'd obtained through hospital security. Each frame burned in her mind, Victoria slipping a syringe from her pocket, poised at Daniel's line as if scripting his final breath. Then Rex's charge, teeth bared, drove Victoria back. The video was irrefutable. Olivia messaged it immediately to Dr. Harris with a single plea. "We need to stop her." What would the board do when faced with attempted murder on camera? Next morning, Dr. Harris ushered Olivia into a tense boardroom. Victoria sat at the head, serene as ever, as Olivia set her laptop on the polished table. Click! Images flickered, Victoria's hand hovering over floor tubing, Rex lunging between her and Daniel. Silence crushed the room. Finally, a board member asked. Any explanation? Victoria's mask cracked. "It's a misunderstanding," she stammered. "I was checking equipment," but her denial fell flat against the evidence. Rex, lying at Olivia's feet, let out a satisfied rumble. Uniformed officers entered, cuffs snapping around Victoria's wrists. "Victoria Langley, you're under arrest for attempted murder, financial fraud, and abuse of power." Relief flowed through Olivia like sunlight after a storm. Had justice finally prevailed? A week later, the hospital's heartbeat felt light. Victoria was gone, and a real chance at recovery glimmered for Daniel. Olivia checked his monitors when a faint twitch at his fingertips caught her breath. Days later, morning light spilled through the ICU windows as Daniel's eyelids fluttered open. Olivia, phone in hand, ducked behind Rex so she could witness the moment. Daniel blinked, mouth parting. Rex, his voice cracked, weak yet unmistakable. The German shepherd bounded onto the bed, pressing his warm head into Daniel's hand, tail a metronome of joy. Tears burned in Olivia's eyes. "Oh, welcome back," she whispered, voice choked. Daniel reached out, grasping Olivia's hand with surprising strength. "A thank you," he breathed, eyes glistening with newfound hope. After 3 long years, a bond of faith and loyalty had pulled them back from the edge, and the best was yet to come. Over the following days, the hospital corridors felt different, lighter, charged with hopeful energy. In the soft morning sunlight pooling on the floor, Daniel stretched, each movement cautious but determined, as if rediscovering his body 1 inch at a time. Rex stayed by his side, head resting on Daniel's knee, tail thumping in a steady rhythm that sounded like a heartbeat. Olivia brought a cup of coffee, its warm steam carrying the scent of fresh beginnings, and watched as Daniel managed a small, triumphant smile. He flexed his fingers, marveling at their return, and whispered, "I knew you'd save me." Outside the window, the city stirred, raindrops still glistening on rooftops after last night's storm. In that moment, Daniel realized this was more than recovery. It was rebirth. With every labored breath, he was reclaiming his life from the shadows Victoria had cast. And though challenges lay ahead, legal battles, corporate fallout, and months of therapy, he felt ready. Because loyalty like Rex's and courage like Olivia's can illuminate the darkest paths, and he would never walk them alone.